Hello beautiful, and welcome to day one of our 7-day prenatal Pilates challenge. Today, get into your comfy clothes. I will be stealing 5.5 minutes of your time to talk and educate about the importance of your pelvic floor. Let's dive in. Hello beautiful, and welcome to the pelvic floor anatomy. If you have had a quick little sneak peek, I have my pelvic model here, which I wanted to show you a little bit more in real life, kind of what it looks like in a nice 3D version. I will be going through with you all of the pelvic floor terms in the upcoming videos. All of the names, what it looks like, how it relates to our vocal cords. But I wanted to quickly show you what that looks like on a model. So here is your pelvic bowl. We have a very strange, for some reason, idea that our pelvic bowl or girdle sits so nicely like this. So if the contents or the baby was in the pelvic bowl, it would just sit nicely like this. Our pelvic girdle actually sits more like this, which is pretty crazy. So at all of these angles, let me show you, it's actually quite tipped. So there's your tailbone sticking out. Here is our lumbar spine, so our lower back. It's quite tipped forwards. So you can imagine also if you had an inverted uterus, controlling forwards or anteriorly tipped uterus, it can help to start to explain why some people or some women's baby bumps are so big earlier on, as opposed to some women's that are more consumed in the pelvic bowl. Let's start with the superficial pelvic floor muscles. So I'm going to come a little closer to you. We've got your tailbone here, and then we've also got your pubic bone and your pubic symphysis here. So you can see these superficial muscles. We've got your clitoris, we've got your urethra where you urinate out of, we've got your vaginal canal, and then we've also got your anus. So this is your superficial pelvic floor. It just comes off like that. Now this is what we're trying to do when we're connecting pubic bone to tailbone. You can see how specifically it connects into these two landmarks. That's why I love to cue tailbone and pubic bone connecting together for pelvic floor, superficial pelvic floor activation. And then here are your deep pelvic floor muscles, so your levator ani. These, as you can see, connect quite deeply into your pelvis. So if you've got any hip stability or any lower back, sacrum, SIJ is going to be a really big one that comes up for you during your pregnancy. If you look at these muscles and you're not bringing attention to your pelvic floor and you're just strengthening around your glutes and making sure your six pack or even your transverse abdominal muscles are good to go, those muscles are eventually going to come crumbling down if these guys are not nice and strong. So I want you to think of the analogy of building a house on a concrete foundation and then also building a house on a sandpit. Eventually, and if you do it quick enough, you can probably build some sort of structure on a sandpit if you go fast enough, but eventually it will fall down. If you build a house or a structure on a concrete foundation, like one where your pelvic floor is solid and working and functioning, the house is going to stay upright for a longer period of time. So I want you to keep that analogy with you throughout this whole series and program when it comes to pelvic floor. But I just wanted you to get a better understanding of what it looks like before we jump into the education videos about pelvic floor and transverse abdominals. No, you can't just pull your superficial pelvic floor muscles out like this. Sometimes I do hate that these models do that because it gives us the wrong idea of what happens. Similarly to slipped discs, but I'm not going to get into that with you now. But I just wanted you to see how much it correlates to pubic bone, tailbone, and these guys are your sit bones. Okay, so this is your clock face that we're trying to stretch and open up and expand while we're getting into pelvic floor opening and relaxation. Okay, that is enough from me from the intro. I just wanted to welcome you with my little model. Good luck over the next couple of sessions. It's full of education. This was one of my favorite masterclasses. If you have any questions, always you know how to connect with the community. Take what you want, leave what you don't, and I'll chat to you soon. Okay, bye.